Here I have my Meyer lemon tree, and this lemon started about 2 months ago. So as you can see, it's grown a little bit, and I've actually had some flowers, and I've had some new lemons that have appeared in the last month or so. It's flowered about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and got a few new lemons that showed up. But I'm pretty excited. Last year we had a lot of huge lemons. I mean, they were baseball size. And so this year we've got a couple more. These probably won't be ready till the fall at the most. But I'm just glad that it has reproduced and we're going to start over again, because having lemons, it's just really cool, like when you're inside and you have a lemon tree with actual lemons. 2 lemon trees and 2 lime trees, and the lime trees are doing pretty well, but this is my best producing lemon tree. And it's right here with all of these potatoes, so let's check out these potatoes real quick. And these potatoes have gotten huge. I'm actually starting to see a few of them popping up right here. So what I need to do is I need to come cover these, because I'm not ready to harvest them yet. There's still a lot of green, and so they're still really growing. So I need the leaves to die off, but I'm probably gonna get pretty close to pulling these out in about a month or so. And last year pulling the tomatoes was fun, because you really don't know what you're getting until you pull them out. But I don't know if you can see, there's some potatoes starting to come up right here. And if I leave them uncovered, they're gonna get green. And I don't want that. So I'm gonna have to get some more dirt and fill up the rest of these bags so that these potatoes will keep growing. But these are Yukon Gold potatoes, and that's all I grew this year for these potatoes, because last year they were awesome. And I just ended up using them the most, and they make great mashed potatoes. So as you can see from the last month, they were probably about here a month ago, and now they're, you know, as tall as these lemon trees almost. So potatoes in grow bags have been worth every penny to invest in the grow bags. And this is the same dirt I used last year, and it's still working. I've had to add quite a bit of fertilizer probably to use it again, but it's been going great. So now let's go check out something new this year. I'm growing peanuts for the first time. This is my first year growing peanuts, and these are a jumbo variety and a Tennessee red variety, and I'm doing them in grow bags. The only issues I've had is something keeps getting into these and digging them up, so I've had to put a net on them to cover them up. But the peanuts have really started to grow. I've never grown peanuts before. I didn't honestly know how well this would work, but I'm beyond impressed on how much they're taking off. And I did put quite a few peanuts into each bag, and what's going to happen is these peanuts will grow flowers, and then they'll bend over and the flowers will grow into the ground, and that's where the peanuts will grow. And so hopefully in the fall I can get quite a few peanuts that are growing. And so I'm excited to pick these. I'm excited to see what happens. But like I said, this is something new for me, and I'm doing them in these extra wide grow bags so that they have room to fall over and grow. And I've got 8 bags, and I don't know if you can see, but they're all got some peanuts in there. One of the grow bags doesn't have much, and one of the grow bags has been attacked by, I assume, rabbits. But I'm hoping that once it gets growing nice and big, the rabbits won't bother him. And so yeah, keep following along, and we'll see how well these peanuts are when I'm able to come pull them up. And that'll be exciting. And these right here are what I'm super stoked for. These are blueberry plants. I have 5 of them right here. And as you can see, this year they have completely taken off. They've probably been in here for about 5 years. One of them down here I planted last year. But we're to the point now where I'm getting enough blueberries where I've only added fertilizer, and these plants are finally going to start making a little bit of money for me. Even though in the summer buying blueberries is pretty cheap, I can finally say these blueberries are growing and I'm not throwing any extra money into buying them. Probably still won't pay back the price I got to put them in and get everything started. But at least this year I've only spent probably $10 on this whole row of plants, and I'm going to get more than $10 worth of blueberries, and then the kids are just going to eat them. So it's awesome to finally have something that's producing. These are producing, and my blackberries, raspberries, and Razzmatazz grapes have all just taken off this year, and I haven't had to spend any money besides maybe a little bit of fertilizer on them at the beginning of the season, and they are taking off. So let's check out some of the grapes. So all up here, I have tons of little grape clusters, an absolutely insane amount. I don't know if you can see them all, but I have, it's a Razzmatazz, and it's a hybrid or a cross of muscadine and just a seedless grape. So it does taste like a muscadine, which is super sweet, but it has no seed and it has no thick skin. And so if you look closely, let's see if I can see it, but there is absolutely tons of grapes up here, and they're just taking over the whole top of this pergola, which is really cool. It's kind of what I always wanted, was for it to take over the top, and it finally is, and it's just creating its own shade. And then over on this side we have kiwi that are growing. I still haven't got any kiwi. I did get flowers this year, but it doesn't look like any of the kiwi stuck. But so we'll see what happens there. It looks like they all fell off. But let's check out the blackberries and the raspberries. These are the blackberries I have, and they've just taken off this week. They've basically gone from red to black in like 3 or 4 days. And so some of them we've been getting about a handful every day, but they're just massive. Look how big those are. And what's interesting is, but this branch up here, it's going all the way to the roof, and now it fell over. But the blackberries are doing awesome. So I'm finally getting some, and you can tell that it's summer now. And this is my corn bed. We have Silver Queen corn in here, and this year I also threw the rest of my peanuts into the bottom of the corn. So I have corn and peanuts in here. We'll see how well they grow together. Peanuts take nitrogen out of the air and add it to the ground, and corn takes a lot of nitrogen. One thing I learned this year is I didn't have enough nitrogen, so last year they just didn't grow very well. So I've been feeding them more than I think I need to this year to try to keep the nitrogen, and my corn is already taller than it got all of last year. So I'm really happy with how this is going. We'll see if I get corn. You would think corn would be pretty easy, but I'm learning how to do it. So if you have any tips, let me know. But I'm working on the corn, and it's already, you know, this is as tall as it got last year and produced corn cobs that were 3 inches long. So this year I'm hoping they'll be better, and it'll grow, and we'll be able to actually enjoy the corn. And we'll see if the peanuts will grow down here. I've got some weeds coming up. I'm not sure which ones are weeds and which ones are peanuts at the moment, so we'll just leave those alone. But hopefully I get some corn and I get some peanuts out of this land up here. Here I have my tomatoes and my cantaloupe and my basil. I have a whole variety of plants just in this raised bed right here. But as you can see, the big beefsteak tomatoes are starting to produce. We're getting quite a few tomatoes, quite a few flowers, and the cantaloupe is getting a lot of flowers down here. One thing I learned last year was to plant basil with my tomatoes, and for me, it really helped. I didn't have any bugs last year. And so not having any bugs on my tomatoes, I was producing tomatoes all the way until basically November. Even after, a little bit after my frost date, I had a frost and that didn't kill them off completely, and I ended up getting a few more tomatoes. So I had way more tomatoes last year than I knew what to do with. But as you can see, I've got them on these hanging trellises that I built a couple weeks ago. And so it's kind of helping them just grow straight up and down. I have a lot of tomatoes in here, so I do come in and prune off the bottoms so that air is getting in and sun is getting into my cantaloupes and the basil in there. But these big beef tomatoes are doing awesome, and I found them easier to grow now after this is my 3rd year of growing tomatoes, and the basil really helped, and I use a tomato fertilizer. But I haven't had any issues last year, and so far this year they all look amazing. Right here we have Concord grapes, and I'm starting to get clusters. I got about 10 clusters on my Concord grapes. Last year I did not get anything. The first year I got a bunch, and this year I'm getting a bunch again. I didn't trim it as much or prune it as much as I did last year to try to let it just keep growing, and it seems to be doing a lot better this year. So some of the clusters, they aren't huge, but there's definitely clusters of grapes on here. These are my sweet potatoes, and they really have done well. If you see the video when I first put them in, they didn't look like they would even survive, but I've put them in and they're coming back around and they're growing quite a bit. So I have 4 bags here. The bag over on the side isn't doing as well. This is a lemon plant, or this is a vanilla plant right here, but these are Georgia red or something sweet potatoes. I haven't not done these before, so these are new to me, but as you can see, they're actually starting to grow really well. And these ones vined a little bit more, so they kind of grow over the edge. Last year I grew sweet potatoes, and they were great too. This year I'm trying a new variety of sweet potatoes, but it looks like they're doing pretty well. Lots of green leaves. You can eat these leaves. I don't eat them, but some people do. I like harvesting the plants that you don't see because you just don't know what you're going to get, and you just hope all summer it's going to work, and then if it doesn't work, well, then you're disappointed, to be honest. But it seems to be going pretty well.